Okay, the final thing we'll look at is the new monarchs. And so we've got the Tudors in England, the Valois in France, and in Spain we have the marriage of Isabella and Ferdinand.
Wait, can you say that one time,
The Tudors are in England, the Valois in France, and in Spain the marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella, the union of two kingdoms, the kingdom of Aragon and Castile. And so these will be three emerging states with stronger central governments. What we're going to witness is that these governments are going to be gaining more and more power and challenging the old feudal order over the next 2 centuries. In some areas, this will be violent. In fact, in all areas it will be violent. When the king tries to take away authority from the nobles in England, there's a rebellion known as the Civil War, the English Civil War. There's the Glorious Revolution in 1688. As in France, the king, of course, tries to consolidate his power. Louis XIV is very successful and creates an absolutist government. Later, the nobles reject that absolutist tendency and rebel, prompting the French Revolution of 1789. But the emergence of these governments, these new monarchs, is key for European history. What's different about these governments? They begin to have armies of their own. The development of the longbow means they can hire more soldiers for themselves and will be less reliant on their vassals. Also, they will be taxing larger areas and will begin to collect taxes and have their laws cover larger areas. And we'll end with the Habsburgs. The Habsburgs are the Holy Roman Emperors. But the Habsburgs marry into the Spanish royal family. And so Charles V is the Holy Roman Emperor and the King of Spain in the early 1500s. Now he, of course, will be in charge when Martin Luther begins the Protestant Reformation. But the Habsburgs, in their capacity as Holy Roman Emperors and as the King of Spain, will control huge amounts of Europe. But remember, the position of the Holy Roman Empire is weak. It's not a hereditary monarch. Instead, it's elected from feudal electors. In other words, a series of royal families in these different German states that elect the Holy Roman Emperor. Now, they always elect the Habsburg Emperor. So the next Habsburg is always the next one. But his power over the rest of the Holy Roman Empire is very limited. It is the development of centralized governments in France and England and Spain over the next century, 2 centuries, the failure of the development of centralized governments in Germany and Italy that will result in power shifting west. France, England, and Spain will all be developing central governments. Germany and Italy will not. Why does this happen? As we noted months ago, Germany and Italy have strong towns, and those towns are resistant to the centralized tendencies of monarchies. Those strong towns allowed Germany and Italy to be a center of commerce in the late Middle Ages. But now, with the discovery of the New World, the new monarchs, these new stronger governments in France and in Spain and later in England, will allow them to finance overseas ventures and therefore allow them to expand their economies and take advantage of a new global economy and global resources. In other words, as I noted before, the new central government in Spain, as a result of the marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella, central government there, the wealth that that central government is able to acquire is what makes Columbus, an Italian, go to Spain to get finance for his journey to the New World. Those central governments will have the financial resources to fund these overseas ventures and therefore to create new markets and colonies and trade with other parts of the world. And the old trade, dominated by Italy and Germany, will be in decline. And so the Renaissance does not just end in Italy in 1527 because of a military defeat, but part of the reason why France and Spain are in Italy and fighting is because they have stronger centralized governments. And the reason why Italy will not continue to see cultural flourishing and renaissance is because wealth will be created elsewhere in those areas that are able to take advantage of new overseas trade. Okay? It's dramatic. It's turning points in history.
Exhausting.